Many came to the Lord. They were forgiven. They were saved. Hundreds recommitted their lives to Christ. Many others, they were prompted by the Lord, and they left with questions to inspire, and they want to know more about what's all this about. Many leaders came together, all the church became one. It was evidence of that prayer of John 17. So let's pray. Father God, we come before you with humility and gratitude. We paused this time because we couldn't do one more thing without acknowledging that you have done this. And we want to acknowledge that. What we have seen is so powerful, and all the glory, all the credits are yours, oh Lord. We want to thank you. Thank you for the thousands of lives that were touched through the festival. We want to thank you for all the hundreds of churches that came together as one. We want to thank you for the initiatives, the community projects that was a result of that movement that you started here in West Michigan. We want to thank you, O Lord, for what you have done. All this time that we have been together developing relationships, new relationships, we want to thank you for those. It has been a renewal of our hearts. It has been a renewal of the heart of West Michigan. We want to thank you for that. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Let's watch together.
My family and I were planning on going to both nights or evenings of Cityfest. We went Saturday night and we were planning on going Sunday until, unfortunately, my youngest son decided to get the flu. So, of course, I stayed home, and then all of a sudden the Lord just told me to start praying and to pray for those that had not received salvation yet. And while I was praying, the Lord gave me a specific word, and He gave me the word homeless. So I started to pray for this homeless person, and then I started to weep. And then as I was praying, the Lord led me to pray for a mentor for this homeless person. So after that, I just thought, wow, that was pretty heavy, and I just thought, I hope one day I know what that prayer was all about.
Well, when I first heard about Cityfest, it was something I really wanted to be involved with. So I went to the Friendship Evangelism training and was excited about being a part of Cityfest. I went the first night, but the shuttle had just left, and there were a couple guys standing around there, and we said, why don't we just walk down there? It's only like a mile, and it was a beautiful night. When it came time for Andrew to give the invitation, nobody around me raised their hands. And I was kind of disappointed because I had hoped to be praying with someone and share the gospel with them. So I just made up my mind, I'm just going to go back to town and walk the same way, and I'm going to start talking to people. I didn't get home until about 12:30 that night, and I was just so excited. I determined I'm definitely going back the next night. I talked to my friend David at church and told him about it and said, hey, do you want to go with me? He said, yeah, he'd love to. When it came time for the invitation, we had already determined that we were going to walk downtown again and talk to people on the street. And the first person we saw sitting at Rosa Park Square was a young man sitting on the ledge there. And we sat down with him and started to talk to him, and he had said that he had just had someone pray with him at Cityfest and found out that he was homeless and that he was a 21-year-old man from Honduras had come over when he was 15. And it was at that point the Lord said, well, why don't you just take him home with you? And I just made a decision that why don't he just stay with me for now? And we'll just do life together, and, I'll disciple him. And that was 5 weeks ago now.
Well, I did not realize that my dad was a prayer mentor for Cityfest.
We didn't tell each other our stories until about a week or so later when she was over for dinner with her family.
I had no idea he was there Sunday night.
And I was telling her what had happened, my experience at Cityfest.
When my dad was telling me this, I was just like, stop, wait, you are not going to believe what happened that night.
And she says, you are not going to believe this, but that night I was praying for someone to have a mentor, and it turns out that was me.
And we just looked at each other in amazement and just started to laugh, like we just couldn't believe it.
Every time I look back on the whole process, I just see how God has been orchestrating this whole event. God cares about everybody. Every human being is made in His image, and every soul is precious to Him. And it doesn't matter if you were Rich DeVos, who was a great man and invested greatly in this, or if you're a young man, 21, homeless, from a different country. God sees no difference. Each one is valued by Him the same.
And we've been praying that God would bring you here. You may have come for the entertainers or something, but I'm telling you right now, you came here because God has a special encounter for you in your life.
Doesn't that just make me smile? I love it that we have this Father in heaven that's just like, watch this. This is going to be amazing. Because He doesn't have to do it that way, right? But He does because the Father has a light heart and He has a heavy heart. Because He has a heavy heart for those who are far from Him. And this has been a powerful, powerful experience to walk through this and to hear these stories. That's, again, one of many. Let me show you another really quick one. A young woman named Elizabeth, when she was a little younger in life, went through some pretty heavy trauma. And as sometimes happens when we go through trauma, you look for a way to deal with that trauma. And she turned to some substances that she shouldn't have and began to be addicted to those and was caught in this slavery of addiction. And out of that slavery of addiction, just found herself in a cycle that she could not break out of. And after a while, she began to wonder, what is this life even for when I'm in the middle of this? And she became suicidal in that. And a friend who loved her brought her to Cityfest. In the middle of Cityfest, as she's hearing about the gospel and about the love of the Father, she found something happening in her heart, which I hope that you have had this experience and just felt this lightness happening in her heart, as she described it. She began to feel lighter. And I was thinking about this story, and I was thinking about the good news of the gospel. And we hear that the angels say it's not only good news, but it's of great joy, right? We just saw that in this story. This woman was beginning to feel this good news of great joy, and she gave her life to Jesus that night and said she just felt something lifted off of her. And we just sang a few minutes. I've been born again into your family. I'm a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to sin. I'm a child of God. And isn't that true in all of these stories? I have 4 kids, and if I go to the grocery store and I have my 4 kids with me and I come back with 2 of them, what do you think my wife's going to say? And then when we find them, what kind of joy is there, right? Our Bible tells us that in Luke chapter 15, it says that when the shepherd loses one of his sheep, when the father loses one of his children, he goes all out to find his lost children. You, me, everybody who was there as a part of the Cityfest, everybody that has been impacted through conversations, through relationships, through service, through evangelism, all the things that have happened. And there is great rejoicing in heaven because of it. Did you hear that number? 1,830 people that we know of that gave their lives to Jesus through Cityfest. Great rejoicing in heaven, right? And we also know is that those of us who are, as we've given our lives to Jesus, we know that that's not the end of the journey. That's the beginning of a different journey. And it's amazing, and there's great joy, and there's also difficulty in it. And there's an enemy who wants to steal that joy from us. So we want to take some time just to pray for each of these people, because 1,830 people all have names. And we don't know all their names, but we know that they're children of God and they belong and they're a part of our family. And so we thought it'd be great for us tonight to just spend the time praying for them. You don't know the names, you heard some stories tonight. But what we'd like to do just for a couple minutes, we're going to pray in groups, but I'm going to do something a little different. I was in Nepal 2 weeks ago, and one of the ways that they pray is they just all pray in one constant prayer out loud, and they're just praying and praying and praying, and then one person comes in at the end and kind of finishes it off. And I'd like to do that tonight. Our prayers are a sweet aroma to the Lord, and so if we could just have this place kind of erupt in prayer for these individuals. Let's give thanks to God, and let's pray for their protection. Can we do that? All right. You ready? And I'll close it, okay? Let's pray. Father, we pray tonight that you would hear the prayers of your people, not only in this moment, but as we return home, as we walk through these next days and weeks and months and years, God, we continue to seek the members of our family that are lost, God. That we reach out to them with the good news and great joy that you brought through your Son, Jesus Christ. And we give you thanks tonight for all of those who said yes to you through Cityfest, before, during, and after. And God, we pray protection for them, and we ask, Lord, that they would continue to be people that you would bring into their lives. Father, we, as we watched the video just a moment ago, you work in such mysterious ways, and we know, because you promised us that you have began a good work in each of these people's lives will continue it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. And so we stand on those promises tonight. We give you thanks and we give you praise in the name and the power of your Son, Jesus Christ, and all God's people said. Amen.